Hi, I'm Macy from the Charleston County Public Library, and thanks for watching this virtual program. September is Library Card Sign-Up Month, and your Charleston County Library card is the key to a wealth of information and resources for free. Of course, we have tons of books. We also have movies, telescopes, museum passes, and gaming tablets for kids. And your library card gives you access to tons of digital content, like ebooks, audiobooks, music, and magazine subscriptions, plus access to databases for professional development, learning a new language, and genealogy research. Your library card is available for free if you live in Charleston County. Just stop by your neighborhood branch with your proof of address and your ID. For more information, visit ccpl.org.
Hi everyone, I'm Molly and I currently work with the Communications Department at Charleston County Public Library. And today I want to show you how to do an adult craft. We will be working to create a piece of rainbow wall decor that will look like this when we're finished. This type of wall decor is great for nurseries, it's great for small children's rooms. Hopefully you enjoy the process and you can, at the end of this video, have a nice piece of wall decor to decorate your home with or even give as a gift. So let's get started. The supplies you'll need for this project are 3 to 4 skeins of yarn, one for each color you would like to include in your rainbow, 40 inches of all-purpose clothesline rope made of cotton and polyester, which can be found at Home Depot, steel wire, tape, a fork, scissors, and a marker or pen. Some additional supplies that you could use but are not necessary are wire cutters, a hot glue gun, and a pom pom maker. Okay, so we're going to start with that piece of rope that I said that you needed. This is the clothesline rope, and it's cotton and polyester. Like I said, you can get it at Home Depot. You can either ask for a spool of it, or you can just ask for like a couple of feet of it. It's just a couple of cents, actually. I think it's like 20 cents a foot. So this is 40 inches. And you'll take it, and you're going to fold it into the arches that you'll use for your rainbow. So each piece is going to be a little smaller. Each arch will be a little smaller than the one before it. You'll start with one fold, fold the next piece into it, and then the next piece, like I said, just a little bit smaller, and then we have our final piece here. So once you've established this fold, you can kind of hold it there for a second so you have those corners to use as reference. And then you're going to take your scissors and you're going to cut where those creases are in the rope that you made. Okay. And then you kind of line them back up just to get a look. I think this last piece was a little long, so I'm going to cut it a little bit shorter. So about right here. Perfect. So this is basically what your rope should look like now. So the next step is to cut some small pieces of wire and place them on the back part of the arch so that you can kind of control the arch pretty well. So you're going to need the wire that I mentioned earlier, as well as some wire cutters and some tape. You can also use scissors to cut the wire. It's just that wire cutters are easier and the wire can kind of be hard on your scissors at times. So you don't want the metal to cover the entire back of the rainbow, or the rainbow arch. You just want it to cover about this much of it, right? Okay. So we'll cut off 4 pieces. And the pieces are about this long in length. You can see that. So like I said, it doesn't cover the whole back of the rainbow, just part of it, just the middle part of it. So you can try to match it to the middle of the rainbow. Actually, use a longer piece for the first one. And you're just going to tape the end of the wires down to the rainbow arch. And it doesn't have to be super pretty. All of this is going to be covered up with the yarn in the next step. So okay, so it just looks like this. The wires just taped to the back of the rainbow, and then use it just to shape it the way that you want it, right? And I'll do that for the next 3. So this is what the back of the arches should look like when you're finished. As I said before, all of this will be covered with yarn, so it does not have to be perfect. The wires just need to be there to help you shape the arches. So the next step is actually to take a pin, and what you're going to do is you're going to mark about a little less than an inch up from the bottom of each side of the rainbow. You're going to have, at the end of the process, you're going to place these pom poms here. So you want to make sure that you leave room for that. So you're going to just mark about, like I said, a little less than an inch, just for your reference. And if you want, you can use a roller to make sure that you're doing the exact amount on each side, or you can just eyeball it like I am. Good. And here is what the back of the arches look like after drawing those lines. Okay, so next we're going to start wrapping our yarn. As I said before, you wanted to have at least 3 or 4 different colors of yarn. If you wanted to, you could only do 3 pieces of rope. Of course, we're doing 4 today, so we have 4 different colors of yarn. And I wanted to use this one for the longer piece. So what you're going to do is start where you've drawn that line and just do a double knot here. Make sure that you pull it tight. And you want to keep it attached to the rest of the yarn, and then you're simply going to wrap it around and until you get to the other side where you made that other mark. And you want to make sure that you do it so that there are no gaps. So when you reach the line on the other side of your piece of rope, which we're almost there, you're going to cut off about this much. And then you're going to make 2 loops like so. And then you stick this through and just pull. And this is what your first arch should look like now. You do need to keep those loose pieces of yarn attached, and you will simply repeat this process for your next 3 arches using the colors you selected. And your finished product should look something like this. So for the next part of the process, you're going to use those strings that you left attached to tie each arch together. And again, you're going to use double knots here to make sure that they're really close together. There's not a lot of space in between the arches. And here's a close-up of what the back of your rainbow should look like now with the arches all tied together. So the next part of this process is not necessary. It's I do it just to make sure that you don't see any of these gaps in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place hot glue on in between the arches on both sides. You don't want to do it in the middle because at the end you want to have room in the middle for your string to go through so that you can use that to hang it up on the wall. So you're just going to take your hot glue gun. Like I said, this part is not necessary. So if you don't have a hot glue gun and you want to skip this part, that's perfectly fine. And you're just going to connect those arches on each side. Of course, you want to try to make sure that you get it in the middle there and that you don't leave any hot glue visible in the back. And just hold it each side until it dries. Okay, so you can see that this side here is much tighter than this side here. So we'll repeat that process for this side as well. And this is where we are in the process now. The arches are tied and glued together and finally complete. So the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to make your pom-poms that are going to resemble the clouds on the end of your rainbow, just like I have these here. So you can do this two ways. You can do it with a fork or as well as your white yarn and your scissors, or you can do it with a pom-pom maker, your yarn and your scissors. If you're using the fork, you first want to take a piece of yarn about this long in length. Okay, go ahead and cut that off. And then you're going to place this in the center of your fork and make sure you have it even on both sides. So it's just going to look like this. Okay. Then you're going to take your yarn and you're just going to wrap it around the fork, the base of the fork, and you want to do it the same amount of times for each pom-pom that you do. I'm going to do it 35 times for each pom-pom, okay? So okay, and then you can go ahead and cut that off. And then you're going to take the one piece of yarn that you put on the fork in the first place, and you're going to tie it, make 2 knots, and pull it through that center, those 2 center prongs of the fork. And you want to make it as tight as possible. Okay, and then you're going to remove your pom-pom from your fork. Pretty tight. Okay, and then you're going to take your scissors. This is what you have. You can actually cut this little piece off, but you do not want to cut off the pieces that you used to tie it together. That's that there. Okay. So this is what you have. It's tied in the center. You have all these loops here and over here on this side. And what you're going to do is you're going to go in and you're going to cut those loops in the center. Making sure not to cut the yarn that is holding everything together here. Okay. And then we'll do it for the other side. And then you have your little pom-pom. And you want to, of course, just make sure that it looks nice. So you're going to shape it up a bit, right? And there's your pom-pom. And you want to leave these two pieces here because you're going to use those to tie them onto your rainbow later. And then you'll just repeat that process 5 more times. You want 6 pom-poms all together. And this is what your 6 complete pom-poms should look like. So for one of the final parts, you're going to tie those pom-poms onto the end of your rainbow. So you'll take your pom-pom, and you kind of want to use it like floss. Pull those pieces through the rope that you have there, like this. And then you're going to double knot it. Okay. You're going to put 3 pom-poms on each side. Last one. Okay. So as you see, we have our little clouds on the end now. We're still going to leave all these strings here for this moment in time. And then you're just going to repeat that process on the other side. And this is what your rainbow should look like at this point in the process. So this is what we have. And what you're going to do is you're going to turn it around, and just to make it a little bit more secure, we're just going to take all these strings and we're going to tie them together. Just separate them out into 2 parts. Pull them tight, double knot them, and then we can finally cut off those strings. Okay. So this is what the back of your rainbow should look like now. This is the front, and you'll do the same thing to your other side. And once again, here is what the front and back of your rainbow should look like now. Okay, so for our very last step, we're going to take a piece of yarn and we're going to make the loop necessary for the rainbow to be able to hang on the wall. So I like to use the last color, the color that I used at the bottom of the rainbow for my loop. You can use whatever color you like. You can use a different kind of string if you want, whatever you like. So I'm going to use this color here. And all you need to do is decide on the length that you want. Then you're going to fold that over and you'll cut that there. And then you're going to keep it folded over like this. Take your rainbow, take the side with the loop, and you're going to push it through like so. And then you'll take this part, stick it through your loop, and pull. You can definitely easily maneuver that so that it's in the center of your rainbow. But yep, that's basically it. Then you're going just to tie off this top part here. Once again, we're going to double knot it. And we're all done.